there, this is Tracy with Rocky Mountain Sewing and Vacuum, and welcome to Sew Fun April 2024. Hope you guys are all enjoying the spring weather we're having. We're going to get started this month with a great little tote bag from Blouse House Designs. It's called the Portsmouth Tote. It's made with wax canvas, and it just goes together really easily and just looks great, and it holds everything you need. This is a perfect size for carrying around your office in your bag to go or anything like that. We have ordered in all the hardware for you, and she makes it great with the hardware. She has all the rivets in there. She has the little leather pieces that go behind the rivet so it doesn't pull through the wax canvas. The lovely, really nice leather handles, everything you need to make this bag. This bag took maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours to cut out and sew. So really a fast little thing. It's not lined, but you could do that. And it doesn't have a zipper in it, but that would not be hard to do either. And it might be kind of nice with a zipper or at least a little snap on the top. But I love the way it looked. I made this with the wax canvas from Blouse House. We have the wax canvas available in our store in Littleton. And also the Arvada store has many colors of this wax canvas. And it's just lovely to sew with. It's not hard at all. I don't change anything. You just sew and it's good. You're good to go. But this is a great little bag. You can put everything in it. Use it for a purse, tote bag, anything you want. This next project I have is by Doug Lesko. It's a Table-tastic table runners. It's got, I don't know, a whole bunch of table runners in there, and they're just so cute, so easy to make. And what's great is you can make them with scraps, so many scraps. So I did this one first. My kitchen is blue and yellow. I bought this yellow fabric from the Littleton store. I did not think about it being directional until I'm sewing it, and luckily all the directions went the right way, except for these here, my sashing strips, but I think they look good going the opposite way, so it kind of sets it off. That's my story. But all of my blues are scraps. I just took and cut out little bits from each piece of fabric, and it just turned out great. I just did quilting in the ditch around all of it. I didn't want to do too much quilting that took away from the design. And it's supposed to be a lot longer than this, but my table is this long. So I cut off a couple of the rows and just made it this long. But it was really fast and easy to make. And so, again, great for using up all of your scraps. Then this next table runner that I made is perfect for Christmas. I made it the same length as the book had it, and I love it. The red stars, all the greens up here, perfect for Christmas. I haven't got it all quilted yet because I'm going to practice some doodle quilting on it. Again, all of this was made with scraps. Even my background fabric and my backing fabric was scraps that I had. So first I've just got it quilted in the ditch, and then I'm going to do some doodle quilting all around it. So that's going to take a little longer than I had so far, but I'll have it done. It's so fun, and everybody will see it there. The stars are basic Ohio star, easy to put together. This done in grid, so this is one section, and then the stars, and then the other section is reversed. So it went together really easily. The directions are great. I really like his books. They're easy to put together. The table runner is a little bit long, but it'll look great on the living room or the dining room table at Christmas time. So here's another table runner out of the Table-tastic 2 book. This next project we have is Geese across the table, another table runner. So these are for the basement table. The quilt or the flying geese in this quilt block are made this way. So you take a big square of fabric, put two smaller squares across it, draw on each side of it, and put it together. When I was trying to figure out how many to cut and everything, I cut too many. So I made 2 table runners, because what else are you going to do with all these flying geese? So when I did the first one, again, it's a little long for our table, but it'll look fine. It's rather skinny, but that's okay. Doesn't have to be very wide across the table. Again, I used all scraps. Everything on here was a scrap. And I love that I can just use up some of my little pieces of fabric, kind of contain the scrap piles a little bit. But since I had all these extra fabrics, I made another one. And what I did was added some sashing pieces in between the rows of quilting, or the rows of geese and my blocks. Just gave it a little bit more color in the middle, made it a little bit wider, and I had enough fabric, so why not use it all up? Again, I just stitched in the ditch because I didn't want to take away too much of the design on here, but I think they both turned out beautiful. Lots of scraps were used up, and now I have 2 black and white and red table runners. Go figure that one out. Okay, when I was talking about doing doodle quilting on my Table-tastic quilt, I have this book, Doodle Notebook, Free Motion Quilting. It's kind of like doing Zentangling. You're just basically doing little tiny doodling to practice your free motion quilting and to just practice quilting, doodling, something to keep your mind off of everything else going on in the world. So you want to use these Micron Magic pens. They are 0.01, 0.01, 0.03, and 0.05 in width. And then there's a ton of designs in here to get you started, some blank space for you to work on it. What I've done is taken a cute little notebook, put a bunch of index cards in there, and just practice doodling on my index cards every once in a while at night, just to kind of calm down before you go to bed instead of reading. But it's got some great ideas. It's just kind of a good way to help you practice your free motion quilting using the doodling. Our next project is some embroidery designs. This is a Janine Babbage design. It's called All Hearts Come Home for Christmas. So this year we're focusing on some tried and true designs that we did previously that people really loved, or we really loved, and we're going to make them again. I did not realize this was a tried and true design. Apparently Terry had done this a few years ago, but I just love Janine Babbage stuff, and this is one I hadn't done yet. This took about 45 minutes or so to embroider out. It's all done in the hoop. You can hang it on this nice little hanger that we have here. I put a little casing on it in the back for it. When she does it in the hoop, she has you sew in some loops so you can hang it that way also. But I used the scraps from my other quilt for this, and then a little bit of scraps for the house and the snow and everything. Turned out really cute, really fast to make, and I think they'd be great on some pillows. There is another pattern in the disc for doing it on towels, and it comes in 3 sizes. So this is the big size, and you can do it in 2 smaller sizes. Okay, so we also have a couple of notions here. These are magic pins, and you guys know we love the magic pins. They're just, the heads on them they have grippies on them, so they're easy to grip. As we were getting older, the fingers just aren't working as well as they used to. They're long, and these are for your long arm. So they're really long, just like the corsage pins for your long arm, but they're grippy. What's nice with magic pins is they're all different color coded, so you can have different ones in your room and not kind of keep track of what's supposed to go where. But I really like these for the long arm too now. And then also by Taylor Seville, we have some magic tailor's chalk. So that's how I did the markings on my top. I have a couple of these. They come in different colors. I use the pink on that top because you just so much going on with all the colors on it. You just you know, it's really skinny, so you can get your points marked in there, you know, the points for this. It's got ruffles across the top, so you had to mark all of that up. So it was really nice with this tailor's chalk. You just kind of brush it off when you're all done. Don't iron it and don't wash it until you've removed all the chalk. But other than that, it's great. So with this blouse, this is a pattern by Friday Pattern Company. It's called the Sagebrush Top. I love the way it turned out. I think it is really cool. It's going to be my new favorite top, I think. It has a little bit of ruffles across here. It's supposed to have a whole ruffle going across this part. I didn't want that little ruffle that was on it, so I just gathered up this part like it said to and left it at that. I love how the sleeves are kind of ruffly. Sleeves are also supposed to have some elastic on here. I didn't have elastic when I was sewing it up, and I never got to the store to get some. You just put a little bit of seam binding around the neck. It closes off with a bow in the back. I made it a little bit longer because I always need to make it longer, but I have it. It's actually long enough that I can wear it as a tunic, kind of with some leggings or something like that. It's a nice flowy fabric, but this took maybe an hour and a half to make so far. I have to do the hem and the sleeves. Other than that, it's all done. So I thought it was not very hard to make at all. The directions are really good. If you've never sewn before, this is a great top to start with. And it comes in all the sizes, so if you're really small or not so small, everything is included in here. I did use Swedish tracing paper to trace it out so that I can use it in different sizes if I need to later, if I wanted to make one for my daughter or any of that kind of stuff. But it turned out really good, and I like how fast it went together and how easy it was. Okay, so this first quilt we're going to go over is from the book Just One Charm Pack Quilts. This has quite a few different quilts in here you can make with charm packs, obviously. So it's that one down there on the end, the gray one. The charm pack I had is more like kind of background fabrics, so I chose a really busy background to kind of counteract the background fabric. That doesn't make any sense at all, but when you look at it, you'll see. So I had the flowered fabric in my stash. It went together really quickly. They're just square and square pieces, so not hard to make. And then just sew them together. I did add these bigger sashing cornerstones in between the squares just to kind of make it a little bit easier to sew together. But I think it turned out really cute. I did add an extra border around it also because I had a little bit more of this fabric. I figured I might as well use up all of it. Then when I get it quilted, I'm going to do piped binding. So there's going to be a little bit of the gray piping around here. Then this is a binding around it. So I think that'll make it look really cute too. So that's the book out of the Just One Charm Pack Quilts book, or the quilt out of the Just One Charm Pack Quilts. So then we have this book, Fun with Panels. I love panel quilts. If you're not used to making a lot of blocks, this is a good way to get started making panel quilts. They've got lots of ideas in here on how you can cut up some quilts and make them into, do all sorts of different things with your panels. So the first one I did is Lose Yourself in Nature and Find Peace. I loved the blocks that I did for my yellow and blue table runner that I got from the Doug Lesko Table-tastic book so much that I decided to use those blocks on the side of that quilt. Made them a little bit bigger since it was a much bigger panel, and I might add another border around it. I haven't decided yet, but I think it turned out really cute. I love those colors in it. It looks so much like a Red Rock sort of quilt, Garden of the Guards sort of quilts. Perfect for Colorado. And we will have quite a few of these, about 3 bolts of these panels, so you'll be able to purchase those at the store. And then the other panel quilt I made is this one here. You guys all know the little kid baby story of Goodnight Moon. I was at the Craft Box up on 44th and Harlanish, and they sell kind of reused fabric and whatever, reclaimed fabric. They had 2 of these panels, and I thought this is just perfect. Every mom has read this story to their kids, and I just bought both panels, and I'm like, I'm going to do something with it. So they had these little, it was a big panel, and they had these little pieces around it. I cut them up, did stars, because I just love star blocks, and it's Goodnight Moon. You need a few stars in the sky also. I had all the fabrics. They just match perfectly with this panel. And then to do the quilting, I just did some swirly swirls, threw in a couple of moons and a few stars in here too. So I love this quilt. One of the kids will get it. Each of the kids will get one when they have kids, hopefully not too soon. But I just think it turned out really nice, an easy panel to work with. So last couple of quilts that we have to show you is this Snowflake Quilt. I've seen it around for a while, and I'm like, I want to make this. So I finally ordered it in. It was so easy to put together. It's this big blue one here. For the pattern, you can use 1 color for your background, 4 colors, or make it very scrappy. I went with 3 colors, so didn't follow the directions at all. But the pattern is really easy. It's all done in grids, so it was not hard to figure out, kind of make everything in thirds instead of fourths, and figure out how to get it even and do it again. So everything is like, I believe it was 3.5-inch grid sort of thing. So the math was easy to figure out, to change it, and it turned out really cool. It took a few evenings. You're doing a lot of half square triangles, but it wasn't hard at all, and you just follow directions. Really great piecing. You make quite a few blocks. These are like 1 big block. You just do it in sections and rows, and it went together really easily. You just follow the directions, and it's really not hard at all to make. And then this last quilt is my absolute new favorite. It's by Charisma Horton. It's called, Summer Camp. I think it is just adorable. I love the campfires on here. Look how cute that is. The tents are adorable, the trees, everything about this quilt is just stinking cute. I used, again, all scraps. Everything on this quilt is scraps, which is lovely to get rid of so many scraps. Not all of my points came out very well on my tent, but they all came out very consistently not well, so I'm fine with that. Everything is made with scraps. I love the way the tents went together. I think this thing is just the cutest thing ever. So again, one of my new favorite quilts. I don't know what I'm going to do with all these quilts I keep making, but this one is just adorable. So that's about it for this month. So thanks for coming. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.